Hello, everybody, and welcome to another figure review from the other spectrum. I've done some Jurassic Park or just dinosaurs in general reviews. And today I have the Irritator, which is already out of his box because I was excited to get this particular dinosaur. The Irritator, there we have the Hammond collection sort of logo with a nice glossy T-Rex skeleton. Another one here at the top with some lights. This is supposed to resemble some sort of cage or something. Again, the Hammond collection with some nice palm trees here that we've seen with this Mattel line. Then here we have a product shot of the figure itself with the stamp or logo over there. Again, logo over here. There's a read up on Irritator. Living up to the name, the Irritator is a ferocious and aggressive carnivore that has a long snout and primarily feeds on fish. So yes, he does eat fish. And here we have a nice sort of, it's like a blend of art, but at the same time it's a 3D render of the figure itself. So very nice. And, there's a nice yellow background with, more palms, ferns, and sort of a jungly type environment in the back. But enough of the box. Let's get into the figure. And here I have him in this sort of running pose. It's not the greatest thing, but this thing is cool looking. There's a lot of detail with it, and I just love how it looks. I like the colors, but I do wish there's a bit more of color, especially when you get to the body of it, because you just get that sort of yellowish stripes, and that's about it. The tail, you get the stripes up to a certain point in the tail, and that's about it. A bit more color would have been nice, maybe more of that black just scattered around the body, but other than that, it's a great looking figure. Now, when I say it's well detailed, I mean, let's get a closer look. It's a bunch of scaling. We've grown to know that Jurassic Park dinosaurs are not accurate to their real life counterpart, although I don't know how accurate this one is. We do have, the sail on the back, and then we get a sort of crest on the top of its snout. Very cool, but yeah, we do get a lot of that scaling pattern, and then we get more sort of those folds going underneath. And it's cool that we get the transition from gray to sort of white kind of thing going on. But yeah, like I said, the body lacks a bit more color because the plain yellow stripes, maybe some sort of different color outline for these stripes would have been cool, or maybe continue the stripe pattern all the way to the tail would have been nice. But yeah, they did paint the fingernails and the toenails, so that's very nice to see. We get the Jurassic logo there on the feet, as we've come to know and see. But yeah, I think the head sculpt, or the upper part of the body over here is really the big eye catcher. We get our first Spinosaurid of the line, and it's very exciting. I do wish they could have done something different to hide this seam line. It is very prominent, and it does kind of stand out at you when you see them. But yeah, I don't know how they could have done that differently. Mine does have some sort of like the glue is out here, it kind of shines there. But yeah, overall, there's some nice sort of sculpting in it. We obviously do have the bendy tail here, very bendable. And they did try to hide, sort of where the bendy wire holes are. They tried to hide them. But I think the bendy wire is right on this hole over here. If my camera can focus, the bendy wire ends right over here. So if you try to bend it from there, you're gonna like kind of force that hole to open up, as you can see there. If I try bending it that way, it's gonna open that up. So be mindful of that. There is some sort of nice scratches and cuts detailings going on with this guy, mostly with the tail there. I think for the most part, the body seems to be fine for the most part. Yeah, not much, sort of cut detailing, but, closer look at the head sculpt. There's a mouth. I don't know if they can ever improve on the sort of jaw articulation. I mean, it's good for, side profiles, but when you look at it from the front, it's just, you see the metal pieces they use and, how the mechanism kind of works. And I don't know, it looks kind of ugly. I don't know how they could change that, maybe. Um, but yeah, other than that, it's a great figure. There's a lot of articulation, so the head can look all the way up that way. We already saw the jaws; they open up pretty wide, as you can see there. You can look up pretty far up, down, pretty well. I'll zoom out just to get a better look. Not all the way down as I would like it to go, but there's the up and down, and then you do get your side to side, so you can have them looking around whichever way you want. Very cool. They're just ball joints, so they do their job. You do get a hinge here at the arm going outward, and then it does go around, and then you get another hinge here at the elbow, and that also swivels. I wish we could get some sort of hinge for the wrist, if it's even possible, but that would be nice, just because the Spinosaurids are known for their kind of longer arms and sharper claws. So, having a wrist articulation there would be cool to, display the hands in different positions rather than having them just sort of in that same position, only being able to move it here. That being said, the legs can, they're on this sort of ball joint in there, so, they can go forward and back pretty much. Yeah, I don't think that's possible in a real dinosaur, but yeah. And they do sort of move inward and outward, so for a wider stance, is much more slimmer stance, wide, you get the point. Sort of a knee joint there. I mean, my camera ain't focusing because this thing is a dinosaur and it only recognizes people. And another sort of weird ankle there, hinge there, and then another hinge at the foot down here, and it does have the beautiful ankle pivot, and you have a swivel here at the knee and another swivel here at this other joint. So there's a lot of posability with the legs that we've seen before with Ceratosaurus, and then you get a nice ball joint for the tail there. So yeah, that does it for Irritator. Let me take out some other dinosaurs from this figure line and see how he scales with the others. Alright, so here we have him in sort of a taller stance, if you can stand up and if the camera will focus on him. But here we do have the Ceratosaurus, which is my other sort of medium carnivore, I guess we can call these guys, because if they're gonna scale with each other, then the Spinosaurus should be extremely massive whenever they do decide to do that. But there they are. The Ceratosaurus is a bit bulkier and I think even a bit longer compared to the Irritator. I don't know how accurate that is to, real life dinosaur proportions, but he does have a bit more body mass, I think, and he overall has a bigger head and all that stuff, which I think is accurate. I think these kind of dinosaurs, the Ceratosaurus, were bulkier, and their heads were always a bit bigger, whereas Spinosaurids, their bodies tended to be a bit more slimmer, a bit more not as wide and stuff. They were a bit more narrow, especially when it comes to their heads. So yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, I'm no dinosaur expert. I just know the minimum as much as I need to know, and I will do my research whenever a dinosaur interests me. And then we have Dilophosaurus again. I think for the scale they're trying to go, it's still a bit too big let me get my only human character, so here's a human character. Yeah, the Dilophosaurus is way out of scale because in at least in the Jurassic franchise, they were about this small. And here is more of a life-sized Dilophosaurus, so I guess it works out in the end. I do prefer this size because in the book they were, real life sized. So there that is. Dr. Sattler with the Irritator and Dilophosaurus. We do get, I should say, the Triceratops, also kind of equal in length. I think Irritator beats it by like a few inches, maybe a few centimeters. But yeah, I think that looks kind of cool. And as final comparison, I mean, is it really fair to compare this thing to this behemoth? It doesn't even fit in my, like, the tail, it just does not fit. This thing is way too massive. I think they really overdid it with the T-Rex, but it's a great looking thing. But you can see how much bigger it is, and I don't think T-Rexes were kaiju-sized animals. I mean, maybe now that there's new research saying they could have been 70% bigger than the largest fossil we have, so I don't know, there's something to think about. And yeah, back to the Irritator. I guess a fun little fact as of recently is that their throat and jaw system was similar to that of a pelican. So, where the pelicans could or can, eat large fish, larger than we would expect. Irritator would be able to do the same thing. Some people have done some cool art recreation of what that would look like, and I'll probably put some up. And some people have taken their own liberties to do some very disturbing looking things when it comes to that new research. But yeah, anyway, that does it for Irritator. He's a fun Spinosaurid to pose, and he does look great. I mean, I've had him posed with the Ceratosaurus kind of roaring at each other. Let me see where he is. Yeah. And I think this just looks so fun. It's so fun to, for me at least, to play with dinosaurs. It's so great. Anyway, that does it for my review. I hope you guys enjoyed. I mean, it is the 30th anniversary for Jurassic Park. I wish I would, be more focused on this line, but I do collect other things, as you can see from the background. So I'm more focused on that. But, here's to all the Jurassic fans. Let's celebrate its 30th anniversary. With that being said, I'll see you guys in a future video.